getting their lunch and start the meeting, because I know we've got some folks with us that have other duties today. We go ahead and call the meeting to order, and did everybody get a copy of the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yeah.
Do I hear any motion to change, or do I hear a motion to accept as well?
I make a motion to accept.
How you doing, Glenn?
A second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Here, okay. Report of Secretary Treasurer is in your packet there, and we'll get Rebecca to go over that with us.
They're real simple. Starting balance on September 15th, $16,784.24. No deposits, one check for $437.42, leaving a balance of $16,346.82. One CD at Civis Bank, $6,230.99, and no reimbursements we can rid at this time.
If you've not had lunch, come on up and you're not gonna bother us at all. I saw somebody come in, I lost them. Susan, come, go ahead and, get your lunch. Let me, say one thing about the, financial reports. We were notified by the state comptroller's office that because of the large number of grants that we've received this past year and things, that they wanted a separate audit than the normal audit that we get with the county auditors. And after some discussion and everything with that, there's no denying that, you know, we're gonna have to have one. So, I was in contact with, the auditor that does the Phipps Bend joint venture audit, and remind me. Mickey Ellis. And, Mickey has agreed to do it, and so, as part of our financials, do we need to, a motion authorizing him?
No, because that will come through our county budget, so,
You saying we do?
no.
We-
I'm not making any separate, expenses for that through our checking account. It goes directly through our county budget.
Well, I guess I'm asking, do we need a motion to hire him to
Oh,
do the
yes,
audit?
yes, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
I make a motion.
And so we've got a motion, I got a second from Pat, to hire, Mr. Ellis's CPA firm to audit just the industrial board accounts. And we only have one checking account, and as you can see, we don't have a lot of activity. But during the year, if you receive, funds for the benefit like of Barrett, they come through our checking account, then we write a check directly to them. They want the state and different ones like that will not write a check directly to the company. They send it to the industrial board then I go down and she prints a check out, I sign it, and then we forward that on to the company after they've met the criteria that's, you know, been required of it. And so we kind of keep up with that. So we will hire him if, everyone's in favor of it, say aye. Any opposed? So moved. So we, like I say, we've already been in contact with Mickey, and he helped explain that to me. He said if you know, with the large number of EDA funds and things that we have received this last year, probably what triggered this, the comptroller asking for a separate audit, so, we'll get that. Did we
No,
get,
I need
we need a motion to accept the financial reports as presented, I say as limited as they are. Do I hear a motion to accept the financial reports?
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second,
Yes.
Glenn, all in favor say aye. Like sign if you're opposed, hearing none. Moving right along to the, old business. We have, Rebecca has made copies for us to see of the signs that we have put up around the reactor vessel building. I don't know anyone that can read the Queen's English that does not understand no trespassing, and all violators will be prosecuted. If we are able to apprehend, and our good sheriff can, is helping us a lot with this. We appreciate all the help that Ron has given us. We still having people coming in there. I don't know what the attraction is, but we wanted to make sure, what size signs are these?
5 to 10.
They're 5 foot tall and 10 foot long. If they can't understand that, I don't know what. So, our cameras are up, and we will be prosecuting those as soon as we can apprehend them. Let me introduce some folks. I usually do that the first, and we got carried away there. We've got Lynn Tully. We're happy to have her, and she's been working with us. She's on the phone with State of Tennessee's ECD, and we'll be hearing from her here in just a few minutes. We got Charles Johnson from TCAT, Jeff Bobo with the Rogersville Review. We've got Nathan Woods. Where's Nathan? Okay, and we're glad to have Nathan with us also with the state. Ronnie Price with Networks, Sheriff Lawson, I've already mentioned, Mark DeWitt with the County Commission, and Nancy Barker with the Commission and Chamber. Brandon Williams with the State Board of Education, Hawkins County Board of Education.
Not yet.
He's working on his way to get
Not
there. Cody Woods with Congress Lady Harshbarger's office. I saw him right at me here. And we got Calvin Clifton with Matter and Craig. Have I left anybody out? And we do have a quorum, so we're glad for that. I'm gonna call on Calvin right now. We've had a couple of things up there. I guess to start with, let's talk about our problem that we had. You recall all the rain and everything we had, and the beaver problem we had at Phipps Bend that was flooding the road out, and the water was getting over into the fields, and cattails were coming up, and so we addressed that problem a few months ago. Evidently, someone did not like the way we did it. We went out 100 feet and lowered the slide, on a gradual slope, and lowered the elevation 18 inches. So if the water got up, it would flow through, and it would be too much for the beaver to dam up. Well, and we left some fairly large rock to keep, I guess, the erosion of the road and everything. And evidently that was hard on either running or riding horses or something, so someone took a grater blade and kind of pushed all that to the side. And now we're getting some erosion, so Calvin, you want to talk a little bit about that?
I originally said I wouldn't be here today. Here I am. I had to change the schedule. But what Larry's talking about is at the end of that pond, there was a spillway, and there was a piping system basically that functioned as an overflow. The beavers just had their way with all that. And what we developed was a little very basic design for what we call a level spreader, where instead of having a concentrated flow in a certain area, we actually spread that flow out over an extended area, so it's constant, and beavers do not like running water. So if you have a concentrated flow, they're gonna go and dam that up. But if we spread that flow out, the beavers, our thought was the beavers would leave it alone. And apparently that has worked. Of course, we hadn't had the rain that we had last year. But I went out there with Rebecca and Larry and Carrie a few weeks ago, and I think what has happened, as Larry said, they didn't like the stone that was put down. It was a little larger than they would like for walking or running or whatever. Somebody went in and graded it away, but it did not bother the integrity of the spillway, the level spreader. And what I told Rebecca and Larry is you could probably get a truckload of a smaller stone, like a number 57 or a 56 stone, something like that, and spread it. Everything will be fine. And I think whoever did that will leave it alone. So, you want me to move on into my little report?
Yes, well, I guess, do we need a motion to take his advice and put the small stone to fix the problem before it does create more trouble?
I so move.
Okay, I got a motion, I got a second. Somewhere?
Second.
Seconded, all, okay. Before we vote, is there any question on this? It's not a big major expense, but we do need approval to get it done.
The stone will stabilize the surface and prevent any, if we were to have a big storm event, that would stabilize it even further. But, everything seems to be intact otherwise.
And that's about 2-inch stone, is that what we talked about?
It's probably a little less. It's probably about a
57 is probably about a half inch or
yeah,
3/4.
57 or a 56, something just small enough that it would be easier on the foot, but it wouldn't wash away in the event you did have an overflow. So,
Okay, got a motion second, all in favor of the motion to apply the gravel and to fix back what's been destroyed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Calvin, go right on into your second.
well, as I said, I was supposed to be out of town today, but my schedule changed. So the report that I've got was actually submitted by Jason Snap, who's your project manager, on October 22nd. So it's a little dated, but I don't think anything has changed that much. So we'll start with the lot 17, the additional due diligence. Overall, we're about 75% now. Some of these we've already talked about. The environmental and water supply study and those things, they've been complete for quite some time. The task 1, the threatened and endangered species, that's been complete for some time. Task 2A, the cultural and archaeological, is 100%, has been for some time, but we're still waiting for the state historical preservation folks to comment on that and approve it. It's not holding anything up, but we would like to get it over with. Task 2B, the water supply study, that's been complete for a while. The large drainage ditch relocation feasibility, that's probably at about 80% now. The sanitary sewer location is nearing 100%. The ancillary area assessments, about 90%. The geotech of those areas is 100% and has been for some time. The site grading plan is roughly 75%. And then the additional services that involve the conceptual level design is about 40%. And Jason has stated basically that we won't be able to finalize everything with the side valve due to the need for the SHPO, the State Historical Preservation, until early 22, and that would likely impact the next round of grant applications. So I said earlier that that's really not holding anything up, but it could. And there's really, I don't know of any way to expedite that. But that's where we're at on lot 17. The engineering report that we were working on with the IDB, the First Utility District, Rogersville Utility District, Cardinal Glass, the report we submitted, it said it was 50% complete. That's dated now. We're at about 98% complete. I'd hoped to have the draft copy by this meeting, but I was literally sitting in the car talking about the report and the line sizes to and from the area. So middle of next week, we'll have that report. And I know that's something Ronnie has been awaiting. We've all been awaiting, but we'll have that next week. And then the Rogersville Utility District water improvements. We're still awaiting final approval from rural development. They had a couple of things that Rita had to take care of there at Rogersville, and she has done that. So again, we're just waiting on their approval so we can get it out to bid. I think that's pretty much everything we've got going on right now. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions of Calvin? Calvin has been invaluable to us over the last couple of years. It's unreal what all the work that he's doing for us, and as he went over about 3 or 4 different things there, everything is moving along well. Hopefully, as soon as we receive that, we can get all the groups, the Cardinal group, the Rogersville Utility Group, the First Utility Group, back together and make some plans then on how to fund the water group.
That would be my recommendation. As soon as we have this report in hand, is we call another meeting of all the entities and talk about a strategy going forward with regard to funding. Whether it be the ARPA funds that may be available, some of the other funds through the state, ECD. And again, there's ARPA funds available through the state now, in addition to what the county and the municipalities are receiving.
Right.
So that's another shot in the arm.
Well, the EDA and ARC, I think, are back in the picture
Absolutely.
because of what we learned. But those deadlines are coming up pretty quick.
And I don't think they'll be impacted by the Lot 17 stuff.
No, it's just that, that thing is supposed to be ready next
The
week.
BER, yeah.
The Bill Forrester,
Well, as you can tell, those of you that are here that have not been involved in these meetings, there's a lot going on. And I don't know, I guess we could move right out of that, and there may be some other questions. If there are, you need to stay after the meeting or bring it up here and ask Calvin while we've got the folks that have been involved in some of these meetings. This is a tremendous project that will benefit all of Hawkins County. The meetings that they've had this week with Cardinal, are those proprietary meetings? Is it worth, can we talk about,
I'm not sure.
I'll just say that they're very happy with the acquisition, and looks like that they'll be putting some funds into, not just improving, but growth. So hopefully we'll be able to talk more about that later.
and, we've been very pleased, the original conversation, I guess, that we had with the vice presidents of the Cardinal Group, they're the largest manufacturer of wooden glass products in the United States, and they're very pleased with being able to acquiesce the glass plant. We were happy for them. I think it's a win for everybody, and so we're excited about their future programs, and one of those is, certainly, I don't want to say contingent upon, but one of the big issues that we are working on is the water.
They're
And,
very interested.
and we're very interested in helping them get that water. And it'll help all of that in, all the way down to Rogersville and Phipps Bend alike. So it's a great project, but it's gonna be an expensive project. Plus, it's very timely that it be done now because of the railroad bridge project that's got all tied together. And so, like I say, there's a lot of meetings going on, a lot of effort going into, securing, whatever monies are available to complete these projects. Calvin, thanks again for all his help, and hopefully we'll get the water system up to, in first-class condition there in the Phipps Bend Industrial Park, and then all the work that's going on with, lot 17, the large lot, and, getting water to that site, in any capacity that's would ever be needed. That's what we're looking at. Is any other old business that I forgot you think of? One thing that is going on, TVA, we're always, working with TVA. That, the two entities in the state of Tennessee that bring projects to the table and help out with, in every regard of whatever it is the state of Tennessee's ECD folks and the Tennessee Valley Authority. And that's part of the Great Commission in 1935 when they were formed, and they have certainly fulfilled it. And they've got a new program now, that will help in putting our sites on their web, which is available worldwide, and helping us. And there's an annual fee for that, and it's gonna be paid for by the Regional Industrial Development Association. And we just have to sign up for it, and then there'll be some work on Rebecca's part to get the data into the site and all that, but, it has to be approved by the end of this month. And so we've reviewed it, we've talked with the folks at TVA that are, coming out with this new, is there a name for this particular project?
It's just, I don't know, it's the tool that they do, it's a GIS tool. You can manage all the properties in your area, and you can export all the details on a PDF and save queries, and a lot of different stuff that you can do with this. And it has Esri data, it has the Esri data attached to it and all that. Today's the last day for me to actually let them know, so I just need to get an approval for this.
And like I say, there's no local funds in it. All the funds to pay for the joining and participating in it is gonna be paid for by the RETA, which is TVA and Houston Electric, so, and they've approved it, so. Do I have a motion that
Make a motion,
we join the
participate.
group, participate in it? I've got a motion, I've got a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. So moved. What is this?
Which one?
Partnership.
I'll be applying for the TVA partnership funding again, once again this year. We do that every year, and it's time to do that. So just to let you know that I will be applying for it once again this year. That's what we use to get extra equipment. If you need it, you just put on there what you're going to be using it for. In the years past, we've been using it for a REIT breakfast, but we've not been able to have that in the past couple of years. But we use it for that, and just different stuff like that that's kind of extra. So.
You got anything else before I start?
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay, Charles, we're glad to have Charles. You all have anything from the Board of Education or from TCAT?
Well, if I could, I spend a great deal of time talking about what we're gonna do, and I'd like to talk just a minute about what we're actually doing. We've hit a cycle here where we have several students graduating from the school. And, just quickly, you know, we're gonna place one at Tennessee Electric in Kingsport. We got 4 that are going to work at Contour. We've got 2 that are waiting on well tests, one at Worley, one at Miyake, and they're gonna be hired there probably. In the last couple of trimesters, we've got 4 right now at Oshkosh and Jefferson City. And the thing about that is these people, these individuals, they come back to Hawkins County. They really don't wanna leave Hawkins County. So to couple that and kind of working backwards here, we go into the schools, and Brandon's he's been good to work with, and the school system's been good to work with. And so we're getting ready to start dual enrollment classes, hopefully by the fall, this coming fall, on top of what we've already got in CAD, in CIT, and graphic arts. And the way I determine that, I go talk to counselors. I know most of them, but I go talk to counselors, I talk to kids, I talk to community people that I know, and that's how we kind of come up with those decisions. So I'm really pleased that there are now people coming to the school asking, do we have such and such types of workers? Are they trained in such and such types of things? And so you were kind of on target, I think, with that.
That's good. That's, you know, I think that certainly helps fulfill our mission is working with our schools, TCAT in particular, and their local. Brandon, do you have anything from the local board of education?
Just briefly, we're at the moment, we've got a team of folks looking at potential program offerings for the proposed new facility. So for the industry folks in the room, in the next week or 2, you ought to see a survey coming out. Should only take you a couple minutes to complete, just asking you to rank what would be the top 5 skills areas that you're seeing a need for. That'll really help us determine what programming would be available in this new facility. Got a couple of leads on some funding sources. Nothing developed to the point that I'm ready to talk about it publicly, I don't think, but we are making some progress and hopefully have an opportunity to do an exciting update in the near future.
Lynn, do you have anything else with the state that's we need to hear about? We appreciate you meeting with us all the time. It's, people don't realize how many meetings we have, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit going on. I think most of my week this week has been taken up with questions about vaccine mandates and our manufacturers. And with the legislative session that's coming up next week, I've just gotten a lot of calls and interest about, you know, how that's going to be handled. So we will see. I wish I had more answers.
We had a good seminar last Friday about it. Steve Darden.
That was really good.
It's gonna be wild, isn't it? I mean, it's,
And we had some Hawkins County manufacturers on that call too.
yeah, so,
Well, it's concerning. I mean, you know, you've got all these federal mandates and things, and you would just hope that people go out and get their shots and go on back to work. It's just a different world we live in today, and I don't understand it myself, what's actually going on, or why there's such turmoil over this, but there is, and if I was in the position of running a company right now, I mean, it is a major issue, so.
I talked to one manufacturer yesterday. He's not in Hawkins County, but he said he was likely to lose half of his workforce. They'll just go work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because he has,
Jobs are out there.
yeah, well, and true, the jobs are out there.
if you're
right?
working for a
So it's
company
really
that's
difficult.
got 200 people and you have to take it, you go to work for somebody that's
Yep.
hired, it's only got 40, you can transfer to them and won't have to be vaccinated. And that's gonna happen, some people are.
Yeah.
It is, it's strange times that we live
It
in,
is.
interesting times, as a Chinese philosopher once said. Nancy, anything from the chamber? Y'all had breakfast this morning, I
We had
understand.
breakfast. No, we're just moving right along, trying to get through the Christmas season. We have started our breakfast back, so, we've got, November, one of our companies, because of COVID and being shorthanded, was not able, so fortunately, when I got back to the office, I had another company call, and they're gonna take the breakfast, so we'll have, Premier Communications doing November, and then, Citizen Bank will do December, so. Had a great crowd, they had some great information from the school system, some of the things that they're doing is amazing right now, and so I hope we can stay on board with them and partner with them to, continue what they're doing.
It's exciting, all the good things that are going on in Hawkins County, a lot of times they
Yeah,
go.
we've opened, I think 20-something new retail businesses.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Who we not
and
calling?
they're
Sheriff?
vested, so they're buying their buildings, so they're vested, so.
Sheriff Nathan.
Nathan, anything?
Lynn covered it up. Good,
Uh,
appreciate it.
The, Cody,
Yes.
what's going on with our conversation?
Well, speaking of vaccine mandates, so the Congresswoman has introduced legislation to not require vaccine mandates in terms of employment. Though we want you to get vaccinated, we don't want you to be forced to be vaccinated in terms of your employment status. So that is one thing that I did want to touch on today. Other than that, if anyone is applying for federal grants such as the TVA, just see me about that, and we'll be able to provide probably a letter of recommendation for that. Other than that, if anybody has any questions, concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me in my office. We are 100% accessible, open doors, so right there in Kingsport and Morristown. So if anybody needs it, just let us know.
Sheriff? We're just glad to have you out with us, and, you got any words of wisdom for us?
I'm just hoping for a break, but the holidays coming on, it's probably not gonna happen.
Well, I'd say
Just go from one thing to another.
it is. I know you all had so much going on with, child searches and everything, and, you know, I feel like we're about to round the corner on a lot of things, and, hopefully we can, you know, make it through this thing. Good Lord keeps looking out after us. Anyone else have anything, before we've got one last, duty we have to perform here today. Does anybody have anything good you wanna bring up, or any questions that you?
Yeah, I got a question. What's the status on the truck driving school up at 15?
Every time I talk to the president, it sounds like a broken record. We have space cleared out up there for the truck driving individuals to come in and take occupancy of. Honestly, to be very frank with you, I don't know why they haven't done that already, because the wheels have been in motion for over a year and a half on that. Of course, COVID slowed it down some. And even if we get them in, they don't necessarily have to be under us, but we do have space cleared out for that entity to come in and begin anytime they'd like. And I feel calls, someone asking about truck driving or something like that. And I wish I could tell you more, but that's kind of where it's at. But that was the last word I
Right
got.
now is the prime time.
I agree.
Driving, I mean, it's short, and the pay's good,
Yep, I agree.
so, you know, we need to pursue that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Jerry did mention that, you know, last time he and I were in a meeting together, he's the president of the school, he did mention that, you know, we should have something in place either by January or in January. Now, he did say that, and I'd forgotten that.
Now, where's Jerry located?
He's in Morristown. He's the president of the institution, president of the whole shebang, the whole school.
Can you tell him that we're real serious about asking him that?
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you, every time I talk to him, well, that is a conversation that
You tell him I want to talk to him.
and I'm fielding calls and stuff too. And people are coming by the school because the word's got out. And so I've had in the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, I've had 2 or 3 individuals come by the school, and the class is only about 6 people at a time, but come by the school and wanna know, you know, what they could do to sign up for truck driving, so I send all that information to him, and then I just, but we're ready to move on it whenever they let us go.
Well, that's good. We have, also, once a quarter, we're required to keep our 3-star status and everything. We have a joint economic development meeting, which is supposed to involve all of the mayors in the county, from Kingsport to Bulls Gap, and certain, organizations and individuals, and we had that one day this month, it's been a couple of weeks ago, and, it was brought up again about the truck driving school and everything, and how important that is to get that going as soon as possible, so.
Yeah.
We'll follow up and see what we come up with on that. Anybody else have anything that you can think of? We've got, a board position open, and you have been, has everybody got, there's 4 resumes that have been handed out to everybody, and everybody's got a ballot. If you would put down your recommendation for that board position, and I've looked over all 4 of these, they're all very qualified and good candidates. We just got 1 position open right now, so we've got to narrow it down to 1 that we would recommend then to the industrial committee to be presented to the entire county commission for a seat to fill the vacancy on this board. So,
If anybody needs a pen, I have.
any
some.
questions or anything?
Larry,
Go ahead.
I wanna go to bat for Mark Durrick. I've known him some time. He serves on our Holston Electric Board. He's retired from his previous job, and he's a good board member. He attends all of our board leadership classes, and he's real interested and knowledgeable about our business. But and I noticed, seemed like all but one of these is from the upper end of Hawkins County, and we used to have 4 or 5 from that end. We don't hardly have them anymore. Last when we got on the board with Susan. And I think that makes a difference having it spread out, but that's my 2 cents worth.
Right, I'd like to, we'll talk about Jeremy Jones on there. I know Jeremy's not well known down here, but Jeremy's got a lot of water experience and a lot of projects we've got going on now involving water, being managing the First Utility District. I think he can bring a lot of knowledge for us, and things that because he deals with a lot of grants and stuff too. I think just his background, running the water district, I think he would be ideal to help us on a lot of these, not just in Dips Bend, but everywhere else too, that might, because everybody requires water. So I think he would be a good choice here too.
Anyone else? Like I say, I think all 4 candidates are very well qualified, and any one of the 4 will do a great job. I hope you spend your time and look over the resumes. We really need people that bring some, expertise to the board that can benefit, when we're talking, we're constantly meeting with not just proposed new industries coming in, but existing industries with issues that they have, and it's always helpful to have somebody that knows a little bit about what's going on.
It's good to have this many people interested. I remember a time you couldn't get anybody that was interested to serve.
That's right. So, without here ado, check one off. Don't check more than one, or you'll have to null and void your vote. But pick the one you like to see, and then we'll fold it up. And I'll send Rebecca around and let her pick them up, and then we'll count them up, give you a result. I'm glad that all 4 of these people were willing to serve.
Yeah.
We need people that's willing to give their time and try to help out Hawkins County, and, we know that one of the major issues that we have is, you know, trying to find jobs, for our people, good jobs.
Talk about the Christmas dinner while talk about the Christmas dinner while
Okay, while she's tallying it up, we are gonna, you know, last year was right in the middle of this COVID thing, and hopefully we're in better shape than we were, but, we're still, you know, having issues and shots, discussions about giving shots and all these things, but, we are gonna try to have our Christmas dinner, and she sent a notice out to everyone, for your spouse or yourself or your guest, whoever it is you wanna bring. And we're gonna have it at the Hell Springs Inn on the 9th of December.
at 6 p.m.
At
I'll be
6
sending
p.m.
out invitations as soon as I receive them. I'll get them in the mail to you guys.
You'll have to check off what you'd like to have to, we'll give you a choice of about 3 things to choose from. It's always a good time, and I'm sure the town will be,
What do you think, I'm over here?
I don't know. Oh, okay, you got it.
I
thought-
circled it.
I was looking and I thought, how do they vote on like this? Okay,
I still like to see it.
we've got the number one vote getter was Jeremy Jones, out of that group, so we'll contact Jeremy and, welcome him. Well, I guess we'll have to wait till he goes through the process, but appreciate your all's, input on that thing. We'll act
Could I make a
upon it.
motion that we accept these resumes, set another opening occur right down the line? Is that out of order?
State that again.
The resumes you got, we voted on one. Could we accept these others for later appointments? Should they?
Sure.
I'll make that a
We'll
motion if we
keep 'em.
can.
Well, I don't know that we need a motion, we'll just keep them on file and then we'll if another opening
Well,
comes.
what about if number wise, will that make a difference? Go like,
Well.
The other two was tied.
oh, really? Okay.
So. it
One
doesn't-
got 0 votes, and then 2
and
was tied,
Two
and then.
ties,
You
so.
may end
It'll
up
win.
with a new applicant that's more qualified than you.
Yeah, and so I like
think you can do
like I
that.
say, you know, and it may be 6 months or a year before you have another opening, it may
That's
be
true.
next month.
I understand that.
But if you do, just say, well, you got that, the one
Yeah,
I
'cause I'll keep-
recommended, we'll just put it in again and.
I keep
go
the
through.
resumes on file, so.
Okay.
So,
They have to tell you they're interested still.
yeah.
Because their life circumstance may have
Yeah,
changed.
it's just a
Well,
different.
that's the way with Scott Rutledge, he would probably already been on the board, but he decided he didn't want to, if I'm, best I remember, so
That's right.
I see what you're saying.
So anyway, when it comes up, just, throw it out there. And, like I say, we want people that will attend the meetings and hopefully will, start taking over some of the duties, all the different meetings that we have, and things like that, would really help, so. Anybody have anything else?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, appreciate your all's attention.